Welcome to Permission to Thrive. I'm your host, Suzi Lula. As a spiritual therapist for over 20 years, I have the honor and privilege of ushering women and mothers just like you on a journey from simply surviving to powerfully thriving. I also have the honor of raising our son, Will, who is now a young adult, with my longtime partner, Jamie, so I'm right there on the journey with you. Consider this your personal sanctuary, your space to meet your heart, embrace your messy, and come home to your most authentic, extraordinary self. My hope is that you leave resourced and inspired because you are here to shine. Welcome to Permission to Thrive. Hi, and welcome everyone. I hope that you have been following along to the episodes during this month of the holiday season, December. I wanted to create a series to assist you to create a holiday season that is peaceful, intimate, connected, and meaningful to you. And this week, I'm leaving you with a talk that I recently gave at the Agape International Spiritual Center. And the talk is called Shine Bright Like a Diamond. I talk about how a diamond is the only precious gem that is made of only one single element, and how you are a precious gem and you are made of only one single energy, and how that energy is the energy of love. I talk about how a diamond is actually formed under pressure, and how there are diamonds within you and around you, even if you are experiencing the pressure that can come during the season. And I talk about how we can mine for the diamonds and connect you with the brilliance and the radiance of the diamond that you are. So may this talk and the practices and the processes in the previous episodes enrich your holiday season and your life. I want to thank you so much for investing in this podcast over these few months that I'm just getting it up and going. I appreciate you all. I love you all. I love hearing from you all, your takeaways, how the episodes have sparked these deeper conversations within you, and this deeper prompting to want to dive deep on your own personal transformational journey. And to that end, if you are interested in diving deep and truly transforming your life in 2024, the doors to my Soul Care Coaching Certification Program, it's a training in the art and practice of spiritual psychology, are open. We start a 5-month deep dive transformational journey of your life starting January 25th, 2024. I would love to have you there. There's a link in the show notes with everything that you need. You can also email me at suzi@suzilula.com. That email is also in the show notes. I'd love to have you if you are a deep diver and looking for 2024 to be your most transformational year ever. Transforming the relationships with your children, with your spouses, with your boss, with your career, with your finance, with your body. It's a beautiful community. I know you will love it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this talk entitled Shine Bright Like a Diamond. Much love. So grateful to be here. I am Reverend Suzi Lula. I've been here for a minute, and always so honored and privileged to get to be here and to practice. I consider this a time that we get to practice, and particularly at this time of year, because as Reverend Michael said in his theme, the mass celebration of the Christ, meaning that we are coming together as a humanity, we're coming together as a collective community all around the globe, coming together to celebrate the Christ consciousness. And what I'm hoping that each one of us leaves here with today is the recognition that the Christ consciousness wasn't meant for one particular individual that we know of as Jesus the Christ, but the Christ consciousness is already alive, already residing within each one of us. So we're coming together in community to meet a holy presence within us, perhaps more deeply than you have ever met that holy presence within you before. So the Christ consciousness, the Christ, it's the light. We're being born, we're being birthed, we're being connected to, reconnected with, over and over and over again, the light within us. And as we connect with that light within us, then what's our assignment? To shine bright like a diamond. So you guys ready to take on that assignment? If you're here, you are ready to shine bright like a diamond. You are a diamond. A diamond is the only precious gem that is made of one element. It's a precious gem made 99.999% of carbon. And you are a precious gem. So this is the first thing perhaps you might not be feeling like in your life. You're so connected to the precious gem that you are, but I'm here to convince you and practice with you. You are a precious gem. If you are here, there's a reason, there's a purpose for you. So you are a precious gem. Your life is precious. And you are made of one singular energy. This is so important. Yes, you may have gone through different experiences, and you have gone through different experiences in your life, but you are made of one singular energy, the energy of love. The energy of light is all that you are. Different circumstances have you gone through? Yes. But love and light is your nature. One energy. If we all only knew this one thing, one energy, one singular energy of love, of light, of wholeness, of prosperity, abundance, creativity, inspiration, if you knew this one energy so intimately that you are of, you would be shining like a diamond all the time. So our practice here today is to meet ourselves anew. The light that is within each one of us is infinite, by the way. Infinite. So as much of the light as you have tapped into to date, as you know yourself to be, it is minuscule to the amount of light, because it is infinite, that you actually are. So as Reverend Michael was saying in his reading of the month, that Jesus the Christ knew himself to be of this infinite nature. He was here to actualize his potential as the light that he is. And as we move into the season of light, we are here to move in to this divine nature, to meet our divinity. That you would leave here more tapped in, more tuned in, perhaps touching into a place inside of yourself that you would know your own worth today more deeply than you knew it 5 minutes ago. That you would leave here infused, invigorated, lit up, knowing your worth, your value. Now, the other thing about a diamond is that a diamond is formed from the pressure it is under. So what happens is the diamond, when it's under pressure, the atoms, the carbon atoms, they bond together and they magnify and they end up this sparkly, radiant diamond, precious jewel. So if in your life right now, you're thinking, well, I'm going through some situations, some circumstances that feel like the pressure of the world is upon me. The pressure of this situation is on me. I'm feeling the stress or the anxiety of the world. Then that too is our invitation to practice. That there is a diamond within your heart right now. There is a diamond within your being right now. And perhaps through the weight of any pressure of the world that you might be experiencing, that weight is an invitation for you to come out shining like the diamond that you are. So you willing to go on this journey with me? Find the diamond in the rough of your life in this moment. So I'm going to tell you a true story. A couple of months ago, my husband Jamie and I, hi, lovey. Dr. Lovey, and we started going back to the gym. So yay us. And it was a good decision. And he, being a singer, he travels a lot. So maybe a week or so after we started, he was traveling, he was singing at a conference. So I went to the gym on my own that morning. Yay me. So I go to the gym, I'm driving home from the gym, and I'm feeling really good because I went to the gym on my own. I'm feeling so good, got the serotonin, the dopamine, I got my music playing loud. I'm singing at the top of my lungs, mind you. My heart's open. It's a good morning for me. Have you ever had those moments, those mornings, those days where you're just in it? It's so good. You're smiling from ear to ear. And then in a moment, your life goes from light to dark. Well, in this moment, in LA traffic slowed down in front of me. And in this moment, the particular man behind me did not slow down. So I was in this terrible car accident. So I go from this expanded place into a moment of darkness. And the person who hit me, uninsured, driving someone else's van, and let's just say I drove a little Lexus hybrid, and he was driving a very large van. So I'm hit from behind, very large van. First diamond that happened is that somehow miraculously I did not hit the car in front of me because I was pushed. But I didn't hit the car in front of me, which assisted me to not become an accordion in that moment. And so grateful for that. People assisted me to get the car over to the side of the road because it was not drivable. And in that moment, I just felt this intuition in me to call Jamie. Now, my mind would say that the chances of him picking up the phone were 0% because he's singing at a conference. He doesn't pick up his phone. I don't typically call him. But I've learned to follow this intuition. And so I followed this intuition, and I call him, and he picks up immediately. Is everything okay? And within one moment, I move from a person who is feeling in the dark, very alone, to a connection, and he puts me on speakerphone. And in one moment, I have an entire conference of individuals who are now holding me in the light, who are holding me in love, who are praying for me. So in one moment, I go from feeling alone and in the dark to receiving a tremendous outpouring of love and light. In that moment, couldn't have been a minute. I look up, and to my left is a police officer standing at my window, and no one had called the police. It had literally just happened. He appeared there because the crash was pretty loud. Two distinct police cars heard the crash, so they heard it and they just came to be helpful. So one of the four policemen was there, and he's sharing with me, be sure to take pictures, and he's walking me through it, which seems so obvious now, but I feel I might not have even remembered to do that. And he could see that I was so shaken up that he literally took my phone from me and started taking pictures for me. So another diamond. So I'm starting to feel and see that in the middle of this dark, messy, because it was literally messy on the streets, my car totaled, dripping with battery fluid, smoke. I'm starting to see these small little diamonds, small little sparks. So I'm inviting you. I want you to be thinking about something that's real and meaningful in your life that might appear dark, that you might be moving through. I want you to just begin to look, what might one diamond be there that I didn't see 5 minutes ago just because we happen to be talking about it right now? So you're looking for these diamonds. I was mining my diamonds. So we're standing outside of the car at this point, and the man who hit me was sitting on the curb, and he felt like he was injured. And so the police did call for an ambulance, and an ambulance came and a fire truck came. And they checked him out, and gratefully and thankfully, he was fine. And the firemen just started furiously taking everything out of the back of my car, just kind of frantically, like pulling it out. And One of them is looking for something to cut the cords of the battery because my battery, it was a hybrid, so the battery was in the back. So the battery got hit. And they did find something to cut those cords. And the fireman said to the policeman and all of us that given maybe 2-3 more minutes, my entire car would have just gone up into flames. The policemen even were amazed, thinking that none of us really thought about it. We saw the smoke, we saw the battery fluid dripping. We didn't know. So another diamond. Many, many, many more diamonds during that day and that experience. But the one I really want to share with you all is in the midst of this messy moment, the man who hit me, still sitting on the curb, looks up at me and he says, "I'm so sorry. I tried not to hit you. I tried to swerve, but just traffic was coming in both directions and I couldn't help it. I tried." And I'm telling you all, in that moment, our eyes locked, and probably more than our eyes locking, it's like our hearts locked. And in that moment, there was a moment of such profound humanity. Humanity even feels like such a small articulation of what happened because our hearts met, our eyes met, and we were just being to being, both placed in this pretty messy, unexpected situation, not where he wanted to be on a Tuesday morning, not where I expected to be on a Tuesday morning, and yet and still, we were divinely connected. And we saw each other. And it was a moment of transcendence in the sense that I couldn't change the situation. I can't come to you today and describe a different situation because I was involved in a pretty terrible car accident. But that moment allowed me to transcend the circumstance, to transcend the situation. And this is what I'm hoping you are catching right now. Because whatever experience you are moving through in your life, whether you're going through a financial challenge, whether you are perhaps estranged from a family member, perhaps there's a health challenge that you're moving through or is moving through you. There may be some this time of year can often bring up grief and loss and sadness and feelings of isolation and separation. I want you to know that there isn't one experience that you're moving through where there is not a transcendent opportunity present. And I'm calling it a diamond. There is a transcendent energy, this singular energy of which you are made. So whatever you may be moving through in your life, real as it is, what I'm letting you know is that there are spaces and places in the situation, in the experience, where diamonds are being mined. There are places and spaces where 5 minutes ago, it seemed like a dark situation that you're moving through. And what I'm offering you right now is that is elusive. It's elusive if it looks like it's solely dark. So we are here to clear our eyesight. It's how we look at a situation, how we are in relationship with situations. So you may be seeing a dark situation, experience. And what I'm telling you is that there are diamonds to be mined in that situation. If you are still seeing it as dark, you have not mined yet the diamonds that are there to be revealed to you and as you. There are places of light within you that you have not traversed yet, that you have not met yet. Some of us are celebrating Hanukkah. And when we take the candle and we light all the other candles with the one, that one candle doesn't diminish in its light. It expands and magnifies in its light. So there are places and spaces within your being right now. There are spaces in there that are seeking and calling for you to connect with more of the light that you are. And we call Jesus the Christ the master teacher because he practiced this every day. He practiced. I was sharing in the earlier service that we think of him as an enlightened consciousness. And that word enlightenment, the quality of enlightenment, used to feel very lofty to me. It used to intimidate the heck out of me. The word enlightenment, it seemed that I was far from it and it might not be attainable for me like it was for Jesus the Christ. And over the years, as I practice day in and day out, I recognize that enlightenment, an enlightened consciousness is a practiced consciousness. It's a consciousness that searches out the light. It's a consciousness that searches out the diamonds. It's a consciousness that regardless of what darkness you may or may not be going through in your life, you are willing to see that there is more light within you being called forth in this situation. If you are moving through darkness, you are meant to be the light. You are meant to be the bringer of the light into that situation, even when sometimes we have our arms folded across our chest. I'll just speak for myself. Have you ever had those moments? Jamie, Lula, do not say anything right now. Have you ever had those moments where you're in the middle of something and your highest consciousness is saying, girl, just let it go and find the light, be in the light. And then there's this part of me that just like doesn't want to in the moment. So I'm just saying, if anyone can relate, that if this is you, there's light to be met inside of your own consciousness. And Jesus the Christ was willing to practice. He's called a master teacher because he's an eternal student. A master teacher is an eternal student. A master teacher is one who practices. And so we look at his consciousness, which is bright like a diamond. And it is bright like a diamond because he practices. So Jesus was an exemplar of someone who practiced. That is why when a leper walked up to him and said, if you are willing, will you make me clean? The reason he was able to say yes so assuredly and then the man is made whole is because Jesus the Christ already saw the man as whole. So if you're moving through a dark situation in your life right now, we don't do a spiritual bypass, but we do say, I need to see the situation in the light. He saw the man already as whole. Same with take up thy bed and walk to a lame man, to a paralyzed man. He saw the man whole. Can you see your own situation as whole? If you can't see it as whole right now, that's okay. Be willing. Start seeing some flickers. Start seeing a diamond. In this situation that you're moving through that I'm asking you to work with as I'm speaking, can any of you start seeing the diamonds yet? Yes? Willing to see the diamonds? Willing to see yourself as the light, as the diamond that is needed in the situation? Yes? Say it resoundingly if it's true for you. If it's true for you. The reason I want you to say it resoundingly is because that means even before we're complete here, your consciousness has already shifted. Your consciousness has already changed. Your consciousness has already transformed. So you are going to leave here not the same being as arrived here. And that's why I want you to say it and say it earnestly and dig your heels into it, right? Because you want to leave here transformed, illuminated, magnified, lit up, shining bright like a diamond, right? So I'm not even done yet, and your consciousness has already shifted. You've already transformed. You're already more in touch with the bright diamond that you are. This is why that word enlightenment, it doesn't intimidate me anymore. I'm like, bring it on. Bring it on, enlightenment. Bring it on. Because there is a light within you that is seeking to shine so bright in the middle of whatever situations are happening in your life. When Jesus the Christ was being brought to the cross, we all know what he said. As Reverend Michael said in the reading, be the one who rushes to forgiveness. What did he say? As he's being brought to a cross, he says, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Because he could simply see it was an unenlightened, an unpracticed consciousness. So he had the eyes to see, and you have the eyes to see your situations and circumstances in a new way. We're not denying the situation and circumstances. We're saying that there is a consciousness, an upper room, Christed nature within you that can see the same situation with different
eyes. So I'm going to give you one more addendum to my car accident, because I was talking to Reverend Coco in between services, and I don't know, maybe some of you guys are also wondering this, because she said in between services, okay, so I was wondering, how did you get home? Jamie was traveling, like, give me the details, what was happening? So do you guys want to know the details? Okay, so here's the truth of what was happening. So yeah, Jamie's gone. I'm kind of on the side of the road. My car is literally not even able to go on one of those tow trucks where they just do the front. I have like the full-on flatbed tow truck. So my car is on the flatbed tow truck. I am a passenger in the tow truck with this guy. And I called Reverend Michael. And true story, I go to 2 different car repair places, and both of them were too full for my car because my car was undrivable. So wherever they put it in the spot, it had to stay there, right? And so I was going from place to place, and I was teasing with Reverend Coco in between services, because at this time of year, it's kind of appropriate. It's like the inn was too full for my car, you know? But Reverend Michael walked me through it, and we found a place, and all is good, and they brought me home, very kind tow truck driver. So I'm wanting you to see that there are possibilities. The situation and circumstance that you're moving through, it hasn't ended yet. Don't give it an ending yet. Ask, like Reverend Coco, she was curious. She was curious, what happened? I want to know. What happened? You ask yourself, I want to know, how can this story end with more light than it started with? How can I be part of this story with more light than I was connected with? And then let me shine it bright. This is what Jesus the Christ teaches us through his practice. And the last thing that he said, ye are gods. He said, you are of this singular energy. You are of it. And all you really need to do is grasp, what is this energy that is my nature? Could it be that I am precious? Could it be that I am so worthy and valuable, that I am here on purpose? Trust me, if you are going through a dark situation, there is a purpose for you there. There is a purpose, there is a need for a light there, and that's why you're there, to be the bringer of the light. He said, ye are gods. He was clear on who he was, and he was clear on who each one of you is. And then what did he say? Do you know what else he said? Quiz number 1. He said this and greater things shall you do. So he gave us permission for his example to be our starting point. Do you understand how profound that is? His example gets to be our starting point because we have the benefit of learning from all of his study and all of his practice. And so right now in your life, wherever you are, it's just your new starting point. You're here to meet your new starting point and start shining bright like a diamond. Yes? Yes. Yes. Because it feels good. That's why you're clapping. Because it feels so freaking good in a world that we live in to be willing to unabashedly and unapologetically shine like the diamond that you are. It feels good, doesn't it? All right. So as we're knowing this and as we're embodying it, we get to do one more thing before we leave. When we embody something, we got to pay it forward, yes? So let's pay this forward. As you are embodying more of the light that you are, as you are willing to mine for some diamonds, polish those diamonds that might be forming in your life right now under some pressure, let's see this light, let's see these diamonds for someone else in your life. Whoever popped into your heart, know that they are a diamond. They are a light-filled being, connected or maybe not so connected in this moment to knowing their own light, so you know it for them. If it's your child, if it's your spouse, if it's your mother, if it's your mother-in-law, if it's your coworker, if it's your boss, see for them that they are the light that you are. Greater things shall they do. And now let's all lend our consciousness and do one last thing. Let's see this for a world that so desperately needs to see some more diamonds. So we are a community. We're gathering together, and we have a power in this community because we're privileged enough to get to join together in consciousness. So let's just start calling forward the air. Let's just go no farther than the sky, the air, the oceans. Let's just feel into the places on Mother Earth that could use our consciousness of seeing the diamonds in the rough that are waiting to be mined. So just call forward in your own heart something that pulls you. I know my friend Lee, that I always think of when the city's being gentrified and the cutting down of the trees. I know that hurts her heart. So I think of her every time I think of that, and we join together. And because we're joined together and we're willing to mine some diamonds together, we're part of perhaps paying something forward for some change. And then we have to look no farther than the Congo, the Sudan, the Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Gaza, endless places on earth right now that so need someone who's willing to see the diamond in us and pay it forward. So right now, in a world that for generations has known war, let it stop on our watch, right? Let this be the end. Let us be the community, agape, unconditional love. Let us be the emissaries of unconditional love that says to our children, it was on my watch that I decided no more. I won't even think about war. I will say peace, to see not only no more war, see peace and only peace, so that generations to come will look back and go, oh my gosh, I can't even believe they used to just think about war. No, peace, peace, and only peace. Yes? So let's all join together for a moment on that. We just take a moment and we just see in these different places on earth, peace, peace, and only peace. Every life is precious. Every life. A baby in the Ukraine, as precious as a baby in South Central LA, as precious as one of our own. Every life is precious. So we offer up this light. We're willing to shine unabashedly so that we have this overflow to be part of a solution to a world that is just starving for more light. Yes? Excellent. So are you willing? You're willing to go out today? Shine bright like the diamond that you are? Yes. Thank you. Shine bright like a diamond, Agape. Shine on. I love you. Thank you for transforming your consciousness today. We leave here changed. We leave here changed. We leave here transformed. We leave here willing to see an earth that is transformed and changed. Yes.
I so hope you are leaving with some diamonds. Come back to this talk often, and for a deeper dive, doors to my Soul Care Coaching Certification Program training in the art and practice of spiritual psychology are open now. We begin a 5-month deep dive transformational journey of a lifetime starting January 25th, 2024. I would love to have you if 2024 is calling you to be your most transformed, your brightest year ever. Much love, everyone, and see you next week. Thank you so much for listening. If there was something in this conversation that spoke to you, we'd so appreciate it if you would take the time to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share this episode with women and mothers you know, because you are here to thrive. See you next time.